Hello, Mehryn. It's not Jimmy today. You're stuck with me today.
Yeah, you're subbing in. I was just going to say, speaking of subbing in, I really appreciate the new profile photo you dropped in here. Well done.
I saw the previous ones. If you've seen me when I guest host, I've got like this goofy picture I took at the Andy Warhol Museum in
that one.
Pittsburgh. And so when I'm feeling goofy, I use that one, but I wasn't feeling goofy today. So welcome to Selling Teams Rooms, everyone.
Good morning. And it was a busy week. Honestly, I feel bad that Jimmy and Michelle aren't here to provide some of the really, really big updates, but we've got a packed show for you today, which we didn't expect.
Will.
Yeah.
We'll start with the training that Jimmy and Michelle are involved in. The first thing's been scheduled and decided on. If you remember, it's everybody gets to vote on what they want to do, and people have voted on Intune and conditional access. So click on the register now link and go get registered. It's the 19th of September.
Yeah, the number is backwards there, but 19th of September, we're going to do one a month, and the link to basically sign up for other additional topics, and you can even put a curveball on there and add a new topic. This is dynamic, so we're going to continue to schedule out all the future events for really the rest of the year, but that was a really big one. We also have things coming up on Teams Premium, so ancillary topics. Doesn't have to be about Teams Rooms. If you want to know more, that would be the place to put in your requests.
Yep. The first topic is conditional access and Intune because that was the top voted, but they've got 6, 7, 8 more scheduled, but they don't have topics yet, so the voting is still open. Don't think that everything's been decided. Your voice matters. Speaking of things that have been decided and then were not decided and now decided again, the end is near, Mehryn.
Yeah, so e-licenses. I feel like we talked about this for a good year, and then it was like countdown, and then 2 weeks away, we extended a whole 90 days. So we had a nice little window of break where you didn't have to hear us talk about this e-license expiration, but basically September 30th, you are done. So everybody needs to turn that over immediately. My number one resource that I'd refer to is this how-to video that Michelle Ballman put together, and that is easily accessible on YouTube. Just send it to your customer, and it walks them through how to simply change the license, and it's a matter of 5 minutes. They can fix everything up.
Yep, basically the end user licenses no longer supported. Get one of those 4, preferably Pro. Because we're going to get into why Pro. Oh, this thing auto plays. Let's stop that. That was the next click. And so there's a video showing you how to audit your Teams Rooms licenses. So lots of information on that. Mehryn, WorkLab, it's your favorite.
WorkLab is always my favorite. I will say I could have posted probably 5 or 6 articles. So if you haven't been on that site, just look up WorkLab Microsoft. There's around 5 or 6 new articles. This is one of them because Jimmy talked about being an athlete. I think it was last week or the week before. This is an article about being a coach. And it gives some correlations of, in sports, what it's like in work, and gives some good recommendations and resources on sort of how to build more productivity and empowerment within your team. So if you haven't looked at it, go check it out. But there's a new blog, there's some new podcasts, certainly one that I'd point your head to, but the next one is interactive. WorkLab, if you're not familiar, we pull signals from our 30,000 plus users across the globe, interview, etc. This is a quiz. It's an interactive quiz. We're not just asking you to answer our questions and not giving you anything in return. This is one where we're asking you about your work with AI, and then we're giving you recommendations based on your answer on how we suggest you might be able to amplify your work environment, etc. So I know Michael was doing it a little bit while we were working this morning, and pretty cool. Lots of neat articles that refer to new stuff that you might not have seen before.
Yep, and it was a simple little quiz. I only went through the first 2 questions so far, but it's like, what is your work style? Are you somebody who attends meetings or somebody who creates materials for meetings? So lots, fun little thing to do. And I hit the mouse wheel and we went back one. So let's move forward into the future, into what was released yesterday.
The big one. But we're all
earlier this week. Teams Rooms Windows 4.18, the big update. Greg Barabolt doesn't post much on LinkedIn, but he wrote a whole big thing, how proud he was and excited, how this version really sets the framework for the future. There's a lot in here. Mm-hmm. But there is a lot of it is forward-looking. So Cloud and Teleframe, really quickly, you take a Microsoft certified camera, and on the back end, Microsoft finds the faces in the conference room and blows them up to be nice and big. So they zoom in. So instead of just seeing small heads in a conference room, you'll see a few big heads of the people who have spoken most recently or been most active in the meetings. That's Cloud IntelliFrame, which then kind of ties into the second one, intelligent camera support for multi-stream IntelliFrame, where
big one.
What's the difference between Cloud and multi-stream? Cloud, Microsoft does the zooming in. Multi-stream is the Edge camera does it. So in intelligent camera, there's several out there. That's
one from Jabra, right?
There's one from Jabra, but also Yalink. I'm sure Poly, and I heard this morning that Logi is working on enabling this. So the software is out, but the hardware has yet to. We're behind on the hardware side, or it's chicken and egg. One has to come first. So the Edge IntelliFrame multi-stream is where the camera with 4K sensors and all that does the zooming in and then sends the feed to Microsoft. So the image will be sharper rather than Microsoft on the back end taking a compressed feed and zooming in. So a lot of that stuff coming on. Lots of voice-based attribution. What voice-based attribution? Hello.
Spatial audio. Yeah, Copilot. I mean, all the things for me. It's the vision of what we sort of heard about like a year ago, actually. I want to say it was October of last year that we might have first seen Front Row. When we saw the bullet number 3, we saw the black background, and that is finally here in this update, which is really cool. Less taxing on the mind because it puts everybody at eye level with one single sort of screen behind them. And then spatial audio, which is sort of one of my favorites, where you're looking at the screen and you can see the audio from where the person is speaking, which is amazing, natural, inclusive, experiential. So these are things that we've talked about for a really, really long time, and they're finally here. But you'll notice they're only available on Windows, and they're only available with the Pro license. So just important.
Pro licenses.
Yeah, exactly. Importance of Pro, you'll see more of that.
Spatial audio is another one where the software is kind of out in front of the hardware. There's a link on there about team certified speakers, which, okay, cool. Good to know those are out there. But you'll need to have speakers separated. Otherwise, if it's too close to each other, and you're sitting further back, the stereo effect doesn't work. But 418, lots of good things coming in 418. And if we're up for a good little laugh, Phil and Tom are happy as can be to talk about Microsoft Places. If you haven't checked empowering.cloud lately, our buddy Tom, his site, he does a conversation, a really good one with Phil Clapham from Australia, who, God bless him, he took time out when I was in Australia a few weeks ago, or God, it's been over a month ago now. He took his time out to take me out to a brewery with his family and friends. So he's a real good dude. He's catching us up on what is coming up with Places, and we might be getting into some Places stuff here shortly.
The anticipation.
I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I was saying, like, the anticipation is building. There's lots of topics. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of anticipation, Integrate. You know a little more about this. So what's going on here at Integrate?
So this was a show I was actually planning on attending, and then because of Labor Day and a planned vacation, I couldn't get out there. But you'll see. You can't actually see because it's probably so small, but it's 3 days in Australia next week. Integrate. It's essentially the, let's say, ISE or Infocom of Australia. Really big show. We'll have 2 meeting spaces where we're fully blocked out with sessions, basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You might say to yourself, well, I'm not going to be in Australia. It looks like I'm going to be missing out.
Well, I'm not going to be in Australia. It looks like I'm going to be missing out, Mehryn.
No, but you can actually join everything virtually. So all these are, yes, you can join every single one of them, sign up virtually. And if the time zone doesn't work for you, the video recording will be shared with you after the fact. So
what?
Yes. And one of the key featured sessions, we're going to have Ilya doing a fireside chat. So that's always a good one that you don't want to miss. And that's taking place on Wednesday. So make sure you check out Joe Donnelly's blog post. We'll share the links as we always do after the show. But that's a do not want to miss. And we're, I think, going to feature another session that's happening live in AMA.
We are.
As well, right? You want to speak to this one?
So episode 40 in the Americas and Europe, EMEA, and North America and Americas. We did ours last week. I think last Monday, this Monday. Time flies, man. Yeah. Anyway, usually Asia Pacific is then 12 hours later. This time it's a couple of days later, a week later, so that they can do it at Integrate Live. And as part of this special edition of MTD AMA, Scott Weisskopf of Microsoft will provide an update on Microsoft Places. So
again,
watch Phil and Tom talk about Places to get up to speed on what it is and what we know, and then maybe we can get a little more technical detail, a little more breadth of story from Scott Weisskopf. And for those of us in the Americas, the time zone works out. 8 p.m. It's a little bit in the evening, but if you're in the West Coast, 5 p.m. So usually these happen in the afternoon in Australia, so it ends up being like 2:30 a.m. Eastern. And so they're tough to make, but we can make one. And it looks like Europe's going to miss out this time on the Asia Pacific MTD AMA. Teams Premium partner enablement. Hey, selling Teams rooms. Let's sell some Teams Premium.
Yeah, so let me speak to this. I think Teams Premium, Teams Phone, and Teams Rooms are sort of a part of the same sales play at Microsoft that we call Converged Communications. So there is opportunity if you are a partner selling Teams Rooms to potentially offer some enablement services, adoption services around Teams Premium. This is the first step into doing that. It's taking place in October. There will be a whole enablement path as a partner. So definitely make sure you set that on your calendar, check it out. Teams Premium is available, and it gives you some of the new enhanced AI features like intelligent meeting recap. It's leveraging things like the intelligent speakers in the room and the cameras in the room. So it's part of the overall story, and it is available today to purchase. Copilot is not. It's a little off in the future. So this is something that you can act on right away and really sort of progress your business model.
And as it ties into Teams Rooms, there's a bunch of webinar features on in Teams Premium, and that just front ends basically a Teams meeting that you could take from Teams Rooms. So that's how we tie it all up. AVI SPL is doing Vibe, a tech expo. Adam Curry, Microsoft's own, a good friend of mine, one of my favorite people at Microsoft, next to Mehryn, of course, is going to be in Kansas City. So if you're in the greater Kansas City area, I know I spent some time in Des Moines, Iowa for work. Kansas City is kind of a hub even for Des Moines. So if you're in the 5-hour radius of Kansas City, check out AVI SBL's Vibe Tech Expo coming in early next month. Similarly, for those, Indianapolis is my hometown. I've lived there for 40 years, so I'm super excited to get back. It's happening at Lucas Oil Stadium, AviLive, home of your Indianapolis Colts. The AVI, I watched Anthony Richardson last night play the football. AviLive, it's free in Indianapolis. So come on, if you're in Chicago, Columbus, Cincinnati, Louisville, St. Louis, Cleveland, Detroit, all the parts in between.
In the middle of the U.S., just all right there.
Come on down, say hi. One day free event, free as in capital FREE. Speaking of more free events, Lori Pottmeyer is going to give us an update on how to become a Microsoft MVP and what it takes. And that is coming September 20th and September 21st. So
a lot going on.
Yeah, I'll be in Indianapolis on, I think, the flying out the 20th. So I'll have to pay attention to the Thursday one.
There you go. Yeah, this is definitely a common asked question. And the next common asked question, this is the last slide that we have. Microsoft Ignite, you can sign up to find out when you can sign up. The sign up is not open yet. There will be a virtual and in-person element, though. So if you're thinking about wanting to join in person, you know that probably is going to book out fast. So make sure you sign up to get alerted for when that goes live, so you don't miss your chance to do that. So
sign up to sign up is the program there, and that's it. Thanks everyone. Thanks Jimmy for letting me keep the seat warm while he's enjoying some lovely time away. Literally has his phone off. So awesome. If things seemed a little late and choppy this week, that's because Jimmy, our buddy Jimmy, was gone, and we had to sit in the seat for him.
Yeah, all good. You did great. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Bye, Mehryn. Bye, everyone.